All right, when you go to look at these graphs today, I want you to make some pretty detailed graphs, not just quick wing it on the calculator on Desmos and then sketch. So I'm looking at the first two graphs here. For the linear graphs, it's all right with me if you want to just plot the y-intercept, so here it would be 8, and then use your slope to put in more specific points. So now this one, if we try to go up 2, 3, 4 over 1, we're already kind of off the graph. So we're going to have to go the other direction. We'd have to go down 1, 2, 3, 4, and then over. And I want you to do more than just a couple in this case. I want you to get detailed points as much as you can. So down 1, 2, 3, 4 again, over 1. Then down 1, 2, 3, 4, over 1. And I want you to get all of them on here, 1, 2, 3, 4, that we can fit on here. And then I'd be off the graph. And then your graph should have some arrows on the end. So we got to draw our line through here. And there's my line going through my points. And my arrows are small, but they are on there. Okay, so for the linear ones, you can just use the slope and the y-intercept. After you do the 4x plus 8, you should also graph the 2x minus 8. But then what we're going to end up doing is putting those graphs together and make one of these fraction graphs that we looked at yesterday. And to graph these, I want you to use your calculator and use the table. I don't want you to just sketch today. I want you to have a more detailed picture of what's going on. So first thing we would need to do if we're going to graph this is go into y equals on the calculator and put in the function. But we specifically need to make sure to put parentheses around the numerator and the denominator. So 4x plus 8, all in parentheses, divided by, then parentheses around 2x minus 6. And then some of you, if you go to your table right away, it'll be set up for you to graph, and if there are numbers there, you can just hit delete and they'll go away. Some of you, that might not be set up yet, and so if you try and delete, nothing will happen. So in that case, you need to go to second window, and if yours won't let you delete, if something's not quite right here, we want this to be on ask for the independent and auto for the dependent. And then as long as you do that, then we should be able to type in values into the graph. And I want you to get every point that you can fit on here onto the graph. And actually, we're going to even add some extra ones. So I'm going to start all the way at negative 11. And then just keep plotting. Negative 10, negative 9. And these ones are all right around 1. And they're kind of messy decimals. Just do the best you can to plot them as close as you can. I'm going to get a bunch of them on here. And then I'll go plot them. So at negative 11, I should be at a little over 1. At negative 10, it's gone a little bit lower, but still above 1. Negative 9, so these first few aren't changing a ton. Negative 8 is the last one that's slightly above. Then at negative 7, we should be right on 1. Negative 6 is at 0.9. Negative 5 is at 0.75 now. And then, whoops. Now I'm going to go back up and clear these out because I need to keep plotting some more. And what's going to happen is at some point you're going to run into a problem. Let's keep going here. Negative 4, negative 3, negative 2, negative 1, 0, 1, 2. So all of these are working so far. So let's plot those on there. Negative 4, we're at 0.57. Negative 3, we're at 0.33. Negative 2, we're actually right at 0. Negative 1, we're at negative a half. 0, we're at negative 1.33. 1, we're down at negative 3. Now it's starting to drop a little steeper. At 2, we're down at negative 8. So far we got those on there, but now when I try and go a little bit further, I try and plug in 3, I actually get an error. And you're going to get an error. Some of these graphs only have one error, some of them are going to have more than one, but I want you to, for now, to skip over it. So then I'll keep plotting 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And I'll come over and plot those. So at 4, I'm kind of still just off the graph. It'd be like somewhere up here. But then at 5, I've already dropped down to 7. At 6, we're at a little more than 5. At 7, we're at 4.5. Now it starts to flatten out. At 8, we're at 4. At 9, we're at 3.67. And I'm going to go to 2 more. So let me get 10 on here and 11 on here. And when I'm at 10, I'm at 3.42. When I'm at 11, I'm at 3.25. Well, it should be a little higher here. Okay, but then what I want you to do, once you get that first set on there, I want to go look back, and where you get that error, I want you to do a few points to either side. So instead of jumping from 2 all the way to 3, I want you to go from 2 to 2.1 and count by tenths. Then go to 2.2, and what you'll see is it's going to kind of pretty quickly speed up. So 2.3, actually no, 2.3, I'm already off the graph. But if I did keep going, it would drop even sharper. 2.4, 2.5, now it's already down to negative 18, 2.6, 2.7, and now it's already dropped down to negative 31. So you don't have to go once it goes off the graph, but I just wanted you to see how that works. So I'm going to plot 2.1. I'm already at negative 9, or a little more than little lower than negative 9. By 2.2, I'm down to 10.5. So it gets fairly steep, and I want you to at least try. Whoops. Come on. Yeah, that's right. I want you to at least try to get a few tenths either way. On the other side, I just want to show you this. If we jumped all the way to, we can't plug in 3, but if I did 3.1, you can see we're way up at 102. Then if I plug in 3.2, it's already dropped to 52. Then 3.3, there's another bigger drop. Now in this case, there's nothing for me to plot between 3 and 4 because 4 was already a little bit off the charts. But I do want you to try and get some of those tenths in there as well, so we have a nice detailed graph. Then once we have that, then we can kind of connect these with a, well, smoothish curve. I'm not real great drawing on a mouse pad, but, or a trackpad. And we should have arrows on the end. Tomorrow we'll talk, or next week we'll talk about what's going on with some of those jumps. How does that, or what those are and how they happen and why they're there. But then I'll sketch in that other side. And for now, that's all you need to do. And so again, just make sure you plot as detailed as you can, use that table, and especially around the error points, try and get a couple of tenths either way. And then that's good enough for this week, and next week we'll actually dive into the book. I know you're excited.